I told myself I was going to get to this, and then I think it's finally time to get to this. I'm calling this traditional values in modern times. Okay, okay, a lot of I've been lately seeing a lot of videos, and a lot of women post this, and a lot of I get into debates a bit with this. It's mostly with women, not really with men, and because I do think men understand this, but at the same time, it's the older men that done raised daughters that I usually have this conversation with. Now, don't get me wrong. My father, um, let's just start like this. I have my father in my life. He's still in my life, right? There were times, and before, like, my mother and father were married for 20 years. Now, they both worked. Now, there were times where my mother would not have a job, and my father would take care of the bills and all that other stuff. He would take care of the bills and all. Now, my mother, when she did get a job because of her degree and where she was working, because she had government jobs, and this is DC. Sometimes you need a government job just to like at least stay above water around here. She would make more than my father. My father never complained. My father never felt less of a man, if because my father was still the man of the house. My father still worked his job. He still worked his, he was still a man in the house. Now, my father has been working his one job all my life, all 31 years. He's going on 31 years working at the same job. Pays good, and his job pays good. Don't get me wrong, but when he was the moral of the story is my father provided, but he provided with more than money, and he didn't just provide with money. He provided with wisdom. He provided with fatherhood. He provided with guidance. And yes, he did provide with bills and all that other stuff. He did pay the bills. Even when my mom didn't have jobs and she was out of work, my father was still um my father would still pay all the bills and make sure we kept a roof over our head and all that other stuff. With that being said, in this generation, I think a lot of women, and here's the thing, and I tell you this, I do believe in traditional values. In a way, I do believe that a man is supposed to provide. Now, I've been saying this, like, but I've also said this: money isn't the only way when niggas can provide. If, but at the same time, if you look at the way, and I tell people all this all the time, and people have this problem with this. If you look at the way the economy is set up, one, it's set up to put you in debt, and is one is set up to put you in debt, and two, a lot of jobs where men you can work with your hands, like factory jobs and most jobs like a trash man and all that other stuff. There's well mostly factory jobs, like mostly factory jobs. They're being outsourced to other countries. I seen this in the '90s, and even then, I never like grasped the ideas of jobs, but I knew there was a problem because people was talking about it. It's like you was outsourcing your work to like India or something like that. So a lot of people was losing their jobs because the big company wants to save money by shipping their work overseas and having people overseas work their jobs. So what does that do for the people in America? It shuts it down. Now you got countries in Mexico that does stuff for like cheaper labor than it does because there's not a lot of stuff made in the USA no more. Because I remember when I was younger, a lot of stuff that was made in the USA because there was factories for it. Now there's not. Notice that. So with that saying, every year the economic stuff grows, except for job wages. And this is why people was trying to ask for 15 bucks an hour job wages because everything else is raising their prices every year. Things raises like food prices. I remember when Big Macs were like $4. A whole Big Mac meal was like $4 before I came in the Navy. Now that I'm out the Navy, Big Macs are like $7. A whole Big Mac meal is like $7. So during my time in the Navy, a whole $3 agree A Big Mac costs $3 more than it does before. I remember I used to get Big Macs for like 99 cents when I was younger. So, with that being said, are they getting a lot of people? They're barely getting paid $10 an hour, and that's their minimum wage. So minimum wage is like $11 an hour. That's not and a lot of people looking at, well, you're not supposed to have jobs like that. Well, some people, like if you go to school getting a bachelor's degree, some people are not made for school. School isn't for everybody. If one thing the Navy taught me is that school is not for everybody. Or me going to college, it's like some people don't like. I noticed this. A lot of people when they get to high school, they don't know what they want to do. So a lot of people they go to college and they waste all their money, and sometimes they waste this money in a major that they're not really interested in. And now you're spending all this time in debt, and you don't know what the fuck you do. A lot of people, and I've noticed that there's a lot of people that don't know what to do. So, or they get jobs that even though that's their passion, it doesn't make that much money. So it's not going to correlate to dollars like that. And this is for men specifically. A lot of men like to work with their fucking hands. That's why you still see your garbage man, your plumbers, your electricians, and all that other stuff. Those are trades. And back then, and I know this back then, they had shop classes, they had wood shop classes, they had they even had home economic classes when I was in middle school. I learned how to cook in home economics outside of ramen noodles. Like I was learning how to cook shit. There's a lot of they don't even teach that no more. A lot of I used to watch TV and all them white shows, and they had these woodshop classes and these biology classes where they dissect the frogs and shit. I never dissect the frog my whole fucking life, and I was kind of looking forward to that, but I realized like they don't do that a lot, especially in like inner urban communities and black schools. They don't really have jobs subjugated for black people. So what is that saying? A lot of this, I feel like there's a lot of men that do want to sit there and provide for their woman. Like I and you can tell with the way these women are, they all want their sugar daddy and a man got to do all this, no, blah, 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 blah. Like I feel like as men, excuse me, I feel like as men, we do want to like do those traditional values because we want to show you that we can provide. But a lot of jobs are really pertaining to women, and not just pertain to women, something that women can gross higher in. Now, a lot of people don't believe, which is why, like, I argue with black women when they talk about, oh, the patriarchy is holding us down. Sometimes the black man holding us down. I said, fucking, and I'm always like, where? Because if you always looked at the job search, like until now, I probably have to look at it again. But up until now, like women, like was always when it came to the unemployment rate, men was always higher than women. Men was always unemployed more than women. There are a lot of jobs that women could do, like a Hooters. Like even if you're not like, let's say a secretary of teachers, even though it's like teachers, it's like mostly women. Like you get a couple of men there, but it's mostly women. There's a lot of jobs where it's like they work around women. There's a lot of places where they'll hire a woman before they're hiring men, especially like retail. A lot of women, like there's not a lot of men that goes into retail. It's mostly run by women. Maybe like one or two males, but it's mostly women. And a lot of people look at this as an excuse, but it's really like no, especially since and now. And My sister had this talk with my father. A bachelor's degree is like a high school degree now. I remember back then, like if you had your at least an associates, you was at least good. You could at least get yourself a suitable job where you could like keep your head above water. And like if you had a bachelor's, you was straight. Hell, now like I'm saying, and this is not going against black women because black women are going to school. They're getting their masters. Like I'm every time I see some of my female friends and they're talking about getting their master's degree, and I'm happy for them because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go up and up and up. But a lot of men like they want to like. There's not a lot of jobs for men who like working with their hands that don't like going to school or something like that, or there's not a lot of trades. So even for them, you have to have a degree. I just realized you kind of like for criminal justice, for you to be a cop, you kind of like gotta have a degree or at least something like that. There's not. What I'm trying to say is, and I'm gonna try to the way economically, traditionally, I feel like men do want to, but economically, it's not possible. Especially like places like California, New York, DC, and I don't know about Atlanta, but everybody goes to Atlanta. But these places like New York and California and DC, DC is fucking expensive to live in. New York is fucking expensive to live in. Cali is really expensive. If you make 40K a year, you might as well call yourself homeless in Cali. You think these people don't? You think these people? You think men don't want to work? You think some of these men don't want to be out on the streets and like selling dope or trying to do something or have these side hustles? Nah, I think a lot of these men, if you give them a factory job or some place where they can like go and work a good 8 hours and come home and provide for their family, like they did in the olden days. Because let's be real, a lot of jobs in the olden days, hell, they had houses. Some people's houses that they didn't even have like big jobs. They had like factory working jobs and all the other stuff, and they was able to provide for their families. Yeah, like the traditional shit. Like hell, back then women didn't really have to work. Now women are working, and I don't think the women are taking jobs from men because there are jobs specifically for women. But at the same time, it's just like what what are y'all doing with increasing wages? Nobody wants to increase wages, and if they do, you're cutting somebody. Somebody's getting cut. So to the women out there, it's like this is what I'm saying. I do feel like black men want to provide, want to be the provider and all that other stuff. But at the same time, we don't want to control you. But at this end, but if you say, "Oh, men got to pay all the bills and all that other stuff, and women got to do shit and blah 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 blah," some men are okay with that. But at the same time, you got to understand the way this the world works. It doesn't do that no more. If you want that, go back to 1960s. Or go back to the 1960s and all that other shit. Hell, and I feel like as far as the women with the fathers that their father pay for everything, that's good. That is good. That's what he's supposed to do. But at the same time, he had to come from somewhere too. So with that being said, some people it takes time to get with, like, even he will tell you, like, yeah, he pays for all his bills and all that other stuff. His wife never have to pay for a fucking dime. Her money is her money. I pay all the bills and all that other stuff. Ask him how long did it take. You should really should ask him how long did it take him to get where he is right now, where he has a sustainable job where he can do that, or he has sustainable money where he can do that. Because a lot of people don't, or if they do and they try to, they're working more than one job, and that's just I think that's what men in this era are trying to do. But hell, I'm like I do I see it all the time. Women with like 2 or 3 jobs and all that other stuff and just making heads do and they're just single parents and all that while still going to college and trying to get their master's degree so they can get better jobs. I feel like men could do that too, but a lot of times men are not in there. Or child support. We're not I haven't even mentioned child support. A lot of times it's like child support kind of fucks them up. So and if you're not paying child support, you're going to jail. And if you go to jail, it's harder for you to get another job, especially with that jail on the record. So, like, it's a lot of obstacles men have to face just to try to help out a woman. And even so, and I say this all the time, women have more opportunities when it comes to, like I said, I don't have a problem with women getting their degrees and their master degrees and all that other stuff. You should. I feel like men or women, if you want to go ahead and get your master degrees or something, by golly, go fucking do that shit. But most people don't tell you there are a lot of scholarships for women that can do that more than men, and that's all. And it's proven that this. I don't see it. I don't see a lot of scholarships for women that wants to do for men as much as they want to do for women. And this is why I kind of scoff at the whole this whole patriarchy shit that we're just run by a patriarch or black men are part of the patriarch, especially the whole black men are part of the patriarch because we don't own a lot of shit. It's like, and we can't, and this is what I tell people: I can't tell you what to do. It's like, and even if I let's say, even if I'm providing for you, I can still cannot tell you what to do. It's just like you're going to, if you want to go get your college education, you should. It's like not just to stop you. And even then, he shouldn't be. How can I say this? He shouldn't be immature, insecure enough that you can do this. Because I guess growing up in a home, my father, like I said, my father was still the man in the house, even if my mother made more than him. He was still the man in the house, and she still respected him as the man in the house. So let me know what y'all think, because I feel like we got. I don't know. I just don't people think people don't know enough about the economy and why like it seems like women have all the jobs which they do, and like men are like going behind and not, or like we're not making as much as women. And I feel like we've been saying this for like the fucking longest, but a lot of people don't listen or don't care to listen. So let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.